What's going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for another Manchester City live stream. Today we're going to be doing our watch along of the home match between Manchester City and FC Porto. Manchester City's first Champions League game of the season, the 2020-21 season. A big game here. We're going up against the Portuguese champions. They were in pot 1, of course, for this Champions League draw. Manchester City were in pot 2, so you would argue that based on that draw that this is Manchester City's most difficult home game that we've got coming up in the Champions League. I'm looking forward to this game. I love European nights, so yeah. But before we crack on with this live stream, make sure, like always, if you are enjoying the content and you want to help support my channel, then you subscribe, press that red button, press the bell, and put your push notifications on. Aiming for 14,000 subscribers. We're very close now to 13,800 subscribers. So any help towards that would be much appreciated. Also, it would mean a lot to me if you left a thumbs up on the live stream. That's how I know that you are enjoying the live stream. So leave a thumbs up. Like goal, of course, for every live stream is at least 100 likes. So any help towards that would be much appreciated. Don't forget also to leave your thoughts if you are watching after the game in the comments below, and also don't forget also social media links. They're just below if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter and Instagram. And so without further ado, we're going to crack on with this this live stream, and we're going to talk about everything that there is to talk about with regard to this game, including the starting lineups, which is interesting. So we're going to start off first with the FC Porto team. So they've gone with Marchesin in net, Chancel Mbemba, Pepe the captain, Corona, convenient, starting up front, Olivier, Uribe, Sansui, Vieira, Dias and Marega on the bench. I think you're allowed to name 12 substitutes. I'm not sure if you're allowed to make 3 or 5 substitutes. I'm sure we'll find out as this game progresses. But on the bench for FC Porto, they've got Grujic, they've got Leet, Ndia, Taremi, Nakajima, Janko, Barrow, Felipe Anderson, who they recently signed from West Ham, Martinez Lopez, Barbosa, Gomez, and Costa as well. I'm not all familiar with the FC Porto side. Obviously, I've heard of Corona that starts up front, a pretty decent attacker as well. Pepe, the captain for them as well, pretty solid defender. And also Felipe Anderson on the bench, who will cause City problems should he come on at any point during this game. But yeah, I'm not too sure what to expect of FC Porto, if I'm completely honest. I'm no expert on them. It's why I love European nights. You never know what to expect. FC Porto will play their way. Manchester City will play their way, and we may be in for a very entertaining game. Remains to be seen. I hope so, anyway. Now, for Manchester City, we've gone with Ederson in goal, Kyle Walker starting at right back, Joao Cancelo starting at left back, Ruben Dias and Aymeric Garcia start at centre back. So Nathan Ake has got a little injury, so he doesn't start tonight. And obviously, Aymeric Laporte also isn't starting, so obviously little niggling injuries happening there. I will speak about Aymeric Garcia in a moment. Rodri defensive midfield alongside Ilkay Gundogan and Bernardo Silva, Riyad Mahrez, Raheem Sterling and Sergio Aguero starting for Manchester City. Nice to see Aguero starting up top. Raheem Sterling captain in Manchester City, of course. Kevin De Bruyne does miss out through injury as well. On the bench for Manchester City, it's Zach Steffen, John Stones, Zinchenko, who makes a return, Ferran Torres, Fernandinho, Phil Foden. Interestingly, we've got 2 goalkeepers, Scott Carson on the bench as well, along with quite a few young players, including Felix Nemicha, Tommy Doyle, Taylor Harwood-Bellis, Cole Palmer, and Adrian Bernard. So we may be seeing a youngster or 2 maybe in this match, depending on how the game does go. So we're going to speak about Aymeric Garcia. You'll have seen, if you follow me on Twitter, that I'm relatively unhappy about this. Aymeric Garcia will not be at Manchester City next season. Aymeric Garcia wants to join Barcelona, and if it was up to him, he would already be a Barcelona player. So I wouldn't like Aymeric Garcia to be in and around the Manchester City starting 11. The only way I'd be relatively happy with Aymeric Garcia starting would be if Manchester City literally have no other options to start at centre-back, and Aymeric Garcia is a needed player. We've got John Stones sitting on the bench, who I will say that he said he wants to stay at Manchester City and fight for his place, so he's shown commitment to Manchester City. He sits on the bench whilst the player that doesn't want to be here is in the starting 11, so John Stones must be very unhappy. We've got other options on the bench. Fernandinho that can start at centre. I'd rather Fernandinho be playing at centre-back than Eric Garcia. I just don't understand the logic here. I don't understand Manchester City wanting to give Eric Garcia experiences and wanting to basically progress his career for a player that we know doesn't want to be here. That's my opinion. I don't think he should be near the Manchester City starting 11. I think he should be sold in January if possible, even if that is for a small fee. And we all move on with our lives. So we'll see how he copes. I'm not sure how physical a team FC Porto are. If they are quite a physical side, then Eric Garcia is probably going to be in for a rough evening. Also, if they are, or should I say FC Porto are a quick side, then Eric Garcia may be in for a rough time. Let's not forget the last time he started for Manchester City was against Leicester, and Eric Garcia had a horrendous game, albeit a couple of other players did as well. So we'll see how that works for Manchester City. All I'm going to say is I'm unhappy about the situation. So, yeah. Anyway, let's move on. Let's speak about everything that there is to speak about with regards to the Champions League. So, of course, I've just been watching, just before I went live on this live stream, the Real Madrid match against Shakhtar Donetsk. Now, Real Madrid have lost that game 3-2, albeit the Bernabeu, I think, has been done up, so they're playing at an Academy Stadium or some other stadium. I'm not too sure. Anyway, it's a stadium that's owned by Real Madrid, so it's slightly smaller than what the Bernabeu is. But Shakhtar Donetsk went 3-0 up in that game, and Real Madrid managed to pull a couple of goals back, made it 3-2, and then Real Madrid equalised in the 92nd minute, I think it was, which has been ruled out via VAR for offside, because I think it was Vinicius Junior was in the eye line of the goalkeeper, which was ruled out, and I thought that probably was the correct decision. Very similar goal to what Manchester City scored against Newcastle a few years back, where or was it Newcastle that scored? I can't remember. It was definitely a game involving Newcastle where someone was unhappy because it was in the eye line of the goalkeeper. It might have been when we had Joe Hart in it. It might have been against us. I definitely remember it being against Newcastle. But it was in the eye line. It was ruled out. And so, yeah, that's finished. Real Madrid 2, Shakhtar Donetsk 3. Quite a big upset there in the Champions League. In terms of upsets, hoping there won't be any for this game. So, score prediction for this game. It's difficult because I don't really know what to expect for FC Porto. I'm going to go for Manchester City 3, FC Porto 1 is my score prediction. I would like for you in the chat on the side just to leave your score prediction for this game, and then we can have a little bit of interaction. I see quite a few people tuning in, including Mason. Goody Oil tuning in as well. Armstrong, thank you for tuning in. Appia tuning in, not happy about Eric Garcia. Mazar tuning in. Tyreek tuning in. Hello, welcome. Tommy Plays tuning in as well. Kelvin starting says Cancelo should play left back. He will be playing left back, you would think, in this game. Ake he is missing, and Ake is missing because he's picked up a slight injury. Ashley tuning in saying hi, JSGC, not JC, but thank you very much for tuning in. We've got Clyde in the room, Jonathan in the room, Jay Jeffrey, evening, thank you for tuning in. Suka tuning in once more, yes I do remember you. We've got Kelvin going for an Aguero hat-trick. So fantastic, lots of regulars tuning in. Nice to see everybody. Hope everyone is safe and well and having a good time. We've got regular gamer in as long with Abdurrahman. I hope that's how you say your name, tuning in as well. So what were people going for? So Mafo's going for 2-1 to, I presume, Manchester City. Goody Oil going for 2-0, I presume, again to Manchester City. Armstrong going 3-0 to City. I was tempted to go for 3-0. I went for 3-1. We'll see. Jeffrey going for 2-1 to City. Hello, Mohammed. Thank you for tuning in. Shivran going for a controversial Manchester City 1, FC Porto 4. I think there'll be a lot for us to be speaking about this evening if it does finish that scoreline. Young Boy Genius going for 3-1 to City. Just Funny tuning in as well. They lost Tellez. I know that they've lost Alex Tellez, FC Porto have, so that's a big blow for them. Young Boy going, I've gone through you, said 3-1 to Manchester City. Luca, yeah, I'm very good, just doing my live stream. Hope you're enjoying the content. Thank you for tuning in once more. Mohammed going for 3-1 to Manchester City. Mason 4-2 to City. Phil going for 2-0 to Manchester City. And Shivran saying, just kidding, he isn't going for that, he's going for 2-0 to Manchester City. Lots of positivity. Love it. Thank you, everyone, for leaving your score predictions for this game. 1-0 Smith Soccer News going for. I like it. I like it. A repeat of the Arsenal performance. Right, so players are preparing to come out for this game. Manchester City will be coming out, it seems, first. I'm excited to see Ruben Dias as once more. Regular game are going 3-1 to Manchester City. Aymeric Laporte's injured at this moment in time, I think. So that's why he's not in the lineup or on the bench. Dad tuning in, thank you for tuning in. Going for 2-0 to Manchester City. I will be very happy if it does finish 2-0 to Manchester City. A win and a clean sheet, always good. Mr. Chuckles going for 5-2 to Manchester City. Ash going for 4-0. Porto weak, so I presume 4-0 Manchester City there. Walker was supposed to have a rest today, so it might be the left-back situation. Zinchenko makes the bench. Who knows? Who knows? Tommy plays going for 5-1. Bayern and Atletico seems fun, but I'm City for life. Nice to hear that. Info? Is that how you say your name? Hope I'm saying that right. Sorry if I butchered it. He was playing absolutely everywhere, to be fair. Joao Cancelo was. Absolutely everywhere. Had a very good game. League, why not the positivity there going for a 1-1? Judas Eric Garcia, I've given my thoughts. I'm not happy that he starts. I'm not happy. Don't think he should be starting this game. That's my opinion, though. As FC Porto follow Manchester City out of the tunnel, being led by former Real Madrid defender Pepe, the Portuguese international. In an empty Etihad Stadium, no fans, of course, still allowed to any football in England. It was nice watching some of the Champions League yesterday on TV, seeing some fans in stadium, including Rennes, that I think had 3 stands, with one of them or 2 of them near enough full, which was really nice to see some fans getting into stadium. So France starting to get some fans back into stadiums as the players line up for the Champions League anthem. And we're not there to boo it. So feel free to boo it at home if you wish. Boo. There you go. There's my contribution towards it all. I don't know what the regulations are in Rennes, if I'm honest. I'm not sure. So don't know if they have to distance or not. But there's lots of fans that were segregated together and stuff. So I'm not sure how much of a control they've got on it. But there we go. See, Elite gets it. Give it a good boo. Official Pacey going, not a City fan, but fairly sure they can win the league. City just need some consistency. Need some consistency. UEFA getting a bit of grief now in the chat. Things you love to see. So Manchester City, we return for the Champions League, of course. Exited in the quarter-final over the last 3 seasons. The first of them 3 seasons we exited against Liverpool thanks to a hefty defeat at Anfield in the first leg. Season after, very controversial with regards to the VAR and City and handball and stuff against Tottenham Hotspur as we was knocked out in a game that I felt like, in particular at the Etihad Stadium, we had full control of, but I felt like the bigger scenario there was missing that penalty at Tottenham Hotspur's new stadium as it was at the time, and obviously losing that first leg, always putting yourself under pressure when you lose that first leg away from home. And then this year saw Manchester City exit the competition once again at the quarter-final stage after we did fantastically well to knock out doesn't seem like a quality team at this moment in time, but a decent team in Real Madrid. We knocked Real Madrid out and then went out in one leg in Portugal against Lyon. So we're looking to try and build on that. Last 3 seasons out in the quarter-final, City be pushing for a semi-final. I would personally like a Champions League final to experience it and see what a Champions League final would be like. But we'll see. We will see what happens there. So we're preparing now for kickoff, which will be any moment now, as the players now are all in position ready for kickoff. Mr. Super Sid tuning in once more, brother. Hello, thank you for tuning in once more. It's going to be moderating the chat, so no spamming, no nasty stuff. Keep it nice and clean. Thank you very much. As FC Porto look like they are going to get us underway for this Champions League match. as players take the knee. Ready for kick-off. And we have kick-off for Manchester City in the Champions League 2020-2021 season. Junaid, I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for tuning in. I'm hoping Pepe doesn't injure any of Manchester City's players as well. Last thing we need right now is more injuries. Right, crack the can open first and foremost. Bam. On the dark fruit cider once more. Extremely nice. We're going to go into commentary mode. And we're going to commentate on the game. So we're through nearly the first minute here. Manchester City building their attack down the left-hand side. Comes via Joao Cancelo, who is dispossessed by an FC Porto player as they bring the ball forward. He does pass it straight out of play, though, for a throw into Manchester City just inside the FC Porto half on City's left-hand side, as City work it out from the back now, switching it from left to right through Kyle Walker. Riyad Mahrez then works it back to Kyle Walker. City now building up nicely from the back, enter the FC Porto half once more. Ball gets played down the left-hand side. Joao Cancelo looking for a pass that wasn't really on there, and FC Porto managed to bring the ball away. A lovely bit of press in there from Manchester City, and I think that was from Aymeric Garcia. Had his critics from me before the game. Makes a good tackle, though, to win the ball back for Manchester City. Now as City look to try and build an attack. Just inside the FC Porto half. City just having a lot of the possession, a lot of passing. It is to be expected this from Manchester City, in my opinion. Porto sitting a little bit deeper. They're the team that I'm not all familiar with, so it'll be interesting to see how they're lining up. It looks like they're going with a back five, so it would be a three at the back, which can form a five at the back at any one time, with Pepe sitting right in the middle of them three centre-backs, as Kyle Walker looks to try and break free down the right-hand side. He's tracked all the way, so he's forced to back-heel it with a pass to Bernardo Silva. Worked nicely by Bernardo, as Aymeric Garcia now picks up the ball. It finds its way to Raheem Sterling on the left-hand side. City having a lot of possession, not really worked anything into the box, as Raheem Sterling brings down an FC Porto player for a free kick just on the touchline next to the FC Porto penalty area. So we're through 3 minutes, nothing much really to report on here. Lots of touches, lots of passes from Manchester City, and lots of runs from Manchester City, but nothing really giving. No shots to report of as of yet. FC Porto seem happy to be sitting deeper in these early stages and allowing Manchester City to try and build up an attack, trying to keep things nice and tight. A ball comes over. It's headed clear by Manchester City, and eventually now gained under control that City can bring it away, although the pass does go back to Ederson. Ederson now telling the players to spread out a little bit and push further up as he passes it out to Aymeric Garcia. Ruben Dias now for Manchester City, been a great signing for Manchester City so far. Plays a long ball forward, which goes straight out of play. Good commentator's curse right there from me, so I apologise for that one. He has been a solid signing, though, for Manchester City. He's looked very composed. I think what people are noticing about Ruben Dias more than anything is how commanding he is. He likes to talk, he likes to organise, which is really good. As Manchester City now win the ball high up in the FC Porto half before they boot the ball clear, and a free kick is given against Manchester City via Aymeric Garcia, who isn't too happy about that. So FC Porto now managed to win a free kick higher up into their own half on the edge of the Manchester City half, just on near the centre circle. So maybe a chance here for FC Porto to maybe try and chip a ball in and around into the Manchester City penalty area. Ball gets worked in. It is picked up out wide by FC Porto now. Can they put a ball into the box perhaps? Kyle Walker tracking every way. A ball does come across. It's a really poor ball in from FC Porto and just goes straight out of play for a goal kick to Manchester City. So we're now through over 5 minutes into the game. And again, we've not really got anything to report on as of yet. Nothing much really happening, if I'm completely honest, as Kyle Walker picks the ball up on the right-hand side. Riyad Mahrez now, who's dropping a little bit deeper, manages to pass a ball into an FC Porto player and out for a throw-in to Manchester City. How are we doing on the live stream? We're now up to 34 likes. Decent, really decent, considering we're only 6 minutes into a game. Hopefully we can get that up to 100 or more by the end of the live stream, which would be fantastic. As another ball's played over the top by Manchester City towards Raheem Sterling. He's not happy about something as the ball goes out for a throw-in to Porto. FC Porto now with the throw-in. It's headed down, and they may be given a chance here to clear their lines, but it is blocked by Manchester City out for another throw-in to FC Porto on the edge of their own penalty area. So some good pressing here by Manchester City. Nothing else really to report on. Like I said, FC Porto are sitting deeper. They seem very happy to defend as another ball is hit into a Manchester City man from FC Porto into Sergio Aguero, and I think it's gone out for, this time, a goal kick rather than a throw-in. Sergio Aguero not happy with something, I'm not too sure what. So a chance here maybe for FC Porto to clear their lines. The goalkeeper has got two players inside the box, chooses to pass to one of them as they work it now down their left-hand side, Manchester City's right-hand side. They look to try and centralise it. The ball is cut out though. I think that's Ilkay Gundogan that's picked the ball up. Kyle Walker fizzes a ball in. It is controlled by Manchester City now. It's Riyad Mahrez. He's wearing gloves. He's feeling the nip. Not really had the winter nip yet here in England yet, but he's wearing gloves, so he's obviously feeling a little bit cold. Out in Manchester, Riyad Mahrez, as a long ball from Ederson goes forward. It is won back by FC Porto. I was expecting to see an offside flag, but an offside flag never goes up. Manchester City now pressing high through Bernardo Silva, but a free kick is given away. Bernardo Silva, again, doesn't look too happy about that. I'm getting a sense of Italian style of football here from FC Porto. Sitting deeper, going down when they've got the opportunity. Remind me of the team that's maybe going to create 2 or 3 chances at the rate they're going at, 2 or 3 chances in the game, and they'll be looking to maybe try and put one of them opportunities away. One of them games where I feel like FC Porto can't afford to concede first, and certainly can't afford to go 2-0 behind. That does, their game plan's undone, they're going to be forced to come out of play, but they are keeping things nice and tight. We may be only 8.5 minutes into the game, but already I'm seeing the direction that this game's heading into, and that's with Manchester City with a lot of ball retention, a lot of running, and a lot of creative ideas trying to break down a very stubborn FC Porto team who have currently got all men behind the ball as Manchester City look to build another attack as they enter into the FC Porto half. A ball gets played in. It's not a bad ball in, but it is intercepted by the goalkeeper in the end, and a good little bit of defending there. Raheem Sterling barged off the ball. Not too happy about the challenge. I'm not too sure why. I don't think there was too much wrong with that, if I'm completely honest. As FC Porto clear their lines and Manchester City pick up the loose ball at the back. Again, Manchester City just working the ball at the back. Currently got over 70 people tuning in. Thank you to everyone that is tuning in, and I hope everyone is enjoying the live stream. If you are enjoying this live stream, then make sure you do leave a thumbs up and like the live stream. Currently on 42 likes, which is fantastic. As the ball gets played in deep, FC Porto managed to intercept the ball. It does go out from the goalkeeper, but I think a free kick has been given as Riyad Mahrez shakes his finger. He's not happy about something there. So he's perfectly onside. He's not happy with the initial contact with the defender. I didn't think there was too much in that, if I'm completely honest. Mahrez does have his hand on his shoulder as he goes down. It's a bit weak, my opinion. That is my opinion, though. Anyway, yeah, like I said, if you are enjoying the live stream, then do leave a thumbs up. And also, if you are new around here and you're enjoying the live stream and the content that I am producing, then please help support my channel by subscribing. Aiming for that big 14,000 subscribers. We're less than 300 subscribers away, so any help towards that would be much appreciated by me. Drinking Strongbow dark fruits always leaves me dead bloated. I'm taking gaps in between words and stuff. Anyway, ball gets played. Pressed high here from Manchester City once more. So ball gets played to the left-hand side. City do intercept, but the ball does eventually go out off a heavy touch from a Manchester City player and out for a goal kick to FC Porto. So it was Cancelo. Intercepted really well. Then takes too heavy of a touch trying to control the ball whilst it was bouncing. Always difficult to do, a difficult trait to have. As FC Porto's goalkeeper now brings a ball away. A decent ball away, to be fair, and picked up by the attacker of FC Porto. Distributes it back to the midfield and then brought away by FC Porto and out for the first corner of the game. So FC Porto win the first corner of this game via Eric Garcia making an intercepting pass. Might that have been a goal kick? I'm not sure. Anyway, corner is given to FC Porto, so a chance here for them to put a ball into the box. So a bit of defending here for Manchester City to do. Currently through 12 minutes, we've currently had no shots from either team. Nothing too much happening as the corner does come in. It is cleared by Manchester City. FC Porto, though, take a rebound and do have the first shot of the game through Dias, and it goes sailing wide, and I mean wide, past Ederson's far left-hand post. And the score remains Manchester City 0, FC Porto 0. So it's Ederson in from the goal kick, passing in and around his defenders, backwards and forwards with Ruben Dias before Ederson picks up the ball once more. Wanted to go long there, opts not to. He's just taking many touches and working his way outside of his penalty area. It's picked up now by Ruben Dias. He does a poor pass, and it now allows FC Porto an opportunity here to have a run. It's Dias for FC Porto, lining up a shot potentially. He's round Manchester City's defender, shoots and scores. It's 1-0 FC Porto. Not much has been created in this game, but it's a lovely run by Luis Diaz, and he finds the bottom corner of the Manchester City net. It was a poor ball given away by Ruben Dias. We couldn't close down the winger. He cuts in centrally, runs around Manchester City's defenders, going round 2 or 3 before getting a strong shot away on his right foot and into the bottom corner. A decent effort, a decent goal that from FC Porto, and a decent run from Diaz. A really good goal. Really good goal. I think it was Cancelo caught a bit flat-footed on the left-hand side as he cut centrally, went down the left. Yeah, it was Cancelo as he went down into the left-hand side. But a really decent shot. A little bit obvious, I felt like, what Diaz wanted to do there. Always taking the touches on his right foot. Wanted to get that shot away. He does get that shot away and goes flying into the bottom corner. A decent finish. A little bit predictable and very disappointing defending there from Manchester City. But it is now a few problems for Manchester City to think about it's currently Manchester City 0, FC Porto 1. As I'm just waiting for kick-off to start, there it is, and goal is given just for VAR and stuff like that. So a very, very disappointing start to this game for Manchester City, and it's exactly what FC Porto will have been looking for. They've got something for them to hold on to and defend, as once again Manchester City get a decent result against Arsenal at the weekend, looking to try and finally build on their season, striking another problem once more, which is pace and mistakes, and once again ball being given away, this time Ruben Dias at fault in my opinion for the goal. So Manchester City now through 15 minutes have got a lot of hard work to do. We've not had any shots. We've had a lot of possession. FC Porto just sat deep, decided to come forward twice, won a corner off the first one and scored off the second, which is extremely, extremely disappointing. Does concern me a little bit as well about how easy teams are through breaking Manchester City down when they want to, and all it takes is a mistake, giving the ball away, and all of a sudden you're out of position, and the City's defence seems to hit panic station, and that goal there was really poor in my opinion. It was very obvious that Diaz wanted to go onto his right foot. He's just running at the Manchester City defence. I thought that was a free kick to Manchester City there. Referee's not giving anything. We're getting the nice UEFA bias maybe. You love to see it. So problems here for Manchester City in the UEFA Champions League. We're in the group stage, match day 1, playing a home match here, as that's a lovely ball out from FC Porto. Kyle Walker will win the ball first. He's quick. He beats Diaz to that, and he manages to clear his lines nicely before FC Porto pick up the ball with a header, but given away cheaply by FC Porto, and City now have an attack down the left-hand side. The ball gets played in. There's a chance here for Manchester City. Can he get the ball across? If that hit the post from Bernardo Silva, Sterling goes down. What's been given is a penalty. I think it's a penalty. Penalty Manchester City. A penalty has been given to Manchester City. It's Raheem Sterling that's gone down. I'm not sure what the referee has seen here. Pepe isn't happy about something. Is it a foul? Is it initial contact? Oh, it's just a stupid challenge from Pepe. Raheem Sterling takes his touch. It's slightly heavy. It goes out for a goal kick. And Pepe just clatters him. And Raheem Sterling goes down. Penalty given to Manchester City. We've not got Kevin De Bruyne, who loves taking penalties and scoring penalties on the pitch. So I imagine this will probably be Sergio Aguero to take the penalty. But once more, a big opportunity here for Manchester City to break down FC Porto to, equalise straight away. Does say on the screen there is a VAR check for a penalty. The FC Porto goalkeeper is down and receiving treatment. I'm not sure what they're checking for. That looked like a pretty rubber-stamped penalty on the second look when I had a look, so I thought that was a good initial decision given there by the referee. Raheem Sterling's just completely clattered by Pepe. So unless it's offside in the build-up, and it didn't look like there was anything offside in my opinion, it looks like this is going to be a penalty for Manchester City. We may have to wait a while. The goalkeeper has gone down. So it's Gundogan that went around the goalkeeper. Goalkeeper's gone down. He's not happy. He's still playing on. It does hit the post from Gundogan's shot. Not sure if they're checking on maybe a free kick possibly to FC Porto for Gundogan stepping on the goalkeeper, which has led to this goalkeeping injury. I'm not sure. I await what's going to happen. At the moment, though, everyone is stood in position, ready for a penalty to Manchester City, as Pep's giving instructions to Eric Garcia and Kyle Walker, so he's clearly not happy with something at the back for Manchester City. Still says VAR check for a penalty. It momentarily went off screen and now he's back on, so I presume VAR are still having a look. So Kyle Walker's now giving instructions to Ilkay Gundogan. So Pep's obviously given a message for the midfield there as well. He spotted something that he's not happy with. Referee's continuing normally with as though it is going to be a penalty here for Manchester City. Very reckless and rash there from Pepe. So it's Gundogan. He's gone to try and win the ball, and he's slid it through onto the goalkeeper's shin. There is what they're having a look at. Still says a VAR penalty check here. VAR check over, so it doesn't look like it's been overturned. So it looks like it's going to be a penalty. It is going to be a penalty, for Manchester City. The goalkeeper now, Marchesin, has got up. He is okay, so he will be in net and in goal facing Sergio Aguero from this spot kick. We're 20 minutes into the game. It's Sergio Aguero up against Marchesin from the penalty spot to potentially equalise here for Manchester City. It's currently City 0, FC Porto 1 through Dias for Porto, who gave them the lead. Aguero now a chance for an instant response for Manchester City. The whistle goes. Aguero steps up, shoots, and the goalkeeper gets a good hand to it, but it does go into the back of the net. It is Manchester City 1, FC Porto 1. Marchesin, furious, kicks the ball into the back of his net. Aguero goes to the goalkeeper's right-hand side. The keeper gets a good, strong arm onto it, but there's just enough on it from Aguero for the ball to go into the back of the net. If I'm completely honest, it is not a very good penalty. It's at a good height for the goalkeeper. It's not near the corner, but there's enough, importantly, on that for it to go into the back of the net. The keeper gets a good strong arm onto it. It goes into the ground, bounces up and into the roof of the net. FC Porto will be very disappointed with that. Clumsy though from Pepe to give the penalty to Manchester City, but it is now Manchester City 1, FC Porto 1 in this Champions League game, and just what we was looking for to get an instant response into this game, in my complete honest opinion. So FC Porto now, they're bringing the ball away. Ball is headed clear by Manchester City and out for a throw-in to FC Porto. Now got over 80 people tuning in. We've got 54 likes. Aiming for 100 likes. Any help towards that would be much appreciated. Good defending there from Kyle Walker to shield out Dias and out for a goal kick to Manchester City. Instant response. When you concede in the first 15 minutes, you're always looking to try and get back onto level terms as quickly as possible, and City have managed to do that, breaking down a stubborn FC Porto team as Ederson's given the ball away cheaply and the ball does go over the bar. Ederson's not happy about something. Something did not click there. Ederson's great with his passing and distribution. Something didn't really click there. He takes a risky pass, pressed by two FC Porto players. He does make the pass before, I think it was it Gundogan? Just misplaced himself there. He's not happy about something. Could easily have taken a touch there. Could have sold a dummy and had a really good opportunity. If that was Ederson, I'd be just booting this. He just boots the ball long. Just get rid of the ball. Let's work our way up. Kyle Walker flicks the ball on, but it does go out for a throw into FC Porto in their own half. A bit dodgy and a bit scrappy here from Manchester City in these first 23 minutes or so of this game. So Porto with the throw-in. The ball is picked up eventually by Manchester City after a couple of flicks on from the throw-in, and it is worked back to Ederson before City build themselves up from the back. This time no press from FC Porto, so we shouldn't be worried about Manchester City working the ball nicely up into the FC Porto half, as Ruben Dias now, as he so often is the last man at the back. City again trying their short, sharp passes to try and get around FC Porto. Kind of going sideways right at the back. Still, for a minute now, Manchester City have just been working the ball, passing it between Ruben Dias, Aymeric Garcia and Kyle Walker. Eventually City can get into the FC Porto half through Ilkay Gundogan. Ball is distributed long. It's too long for Manchester City and Riyad Mahrez, and goes out for a throw-in to, a goal kick to FC Porto. Bit of a poor ball there, maybe from all the frustration of Manchester City passing the ball literally sideways between their defenders for near enough a minute there before Kyle Walker looks to try and distribute the ball long and ends up going too long and out for a goal kick. So FC Porto has had 3 attempts at the moment, 1 on target, and it is a goal. Manchester City have had 2 attempts, one through Ilkay Gundogan, which hit the post, which ultimately led from that same attack to a penalty to Manchester City. Goalkeeper gets a good arm onto it, but it's not enough, and Sergio Aguero's penalty effort was enough to equalise for Manchester City. So it's currently at the Etihad Stadium, Manchester City 1, FC Porto 1 in the first game of the group stage of the Champions League for the 2020-21 season. So once again, Manchester City building the ball up nicely from the back. It's Kyle Walker, Riyad Mahrez looking to exchange passes. It's good pressing. Mahrez now can bring the ball away. Driving at the FC Porto defence. Manchester City now pick up the ball through Ilkay Gundogan. Around 30 yards from goal. It is pressed and tackled from FC Porto before City pick up the loose ball and can work their next attack down their left-hand side. A pass does go, I thought was going to go out of play from Cancelo. Does eventually go out of play and a throw-in is given to Manchester City. So Ruben Dias now picks up the ball. Kyle Walker passes it to Riyad Mahrez and pressed well by FC Porto. This right-hand side hasn't really worked for City in this half at the moment. I've been very, very alert, the FC Porto defenders, looking to not only press and put City under pressure, but actually winning the ball back and trying to spring counter-attacks as well. City now working the ball through midfield. Worked out wide to Kyle Walker. He cuts inside. Works it backwards. Ruben Dias, again the last man at the back. He likes being the last man and seeing everything that's happening in front of him. He's come out with comments this week saying he wants to be the Manchester City captain. It's the kind of things you want to hear, though, from new signings. He's getting games, he's getting minutes. He wants to be at Manchester City. He wants to lead Manchester City. He wants to captain the team. So it's good to see, in my opinion. I still think he's personally a few years away from captaincy at Manchester City, and I say that because Kevin De Bruyne is wanting the captaincy, and I reckon he, as vice-captain, will take over from the armband from Fernandinho, should Fernandinho leave Manchester City next summer, as his contract is up. No word on any extensions or any... you'd imagine it'd be, if there is an extension, another 12 months, so no word on that yet. There's a bit of a ping-pong in the middle. He's won by Manchester City on 27 minutes, and they can bring the ball away. So it's Manchester City 1, FC Porto 1 here at this moment in time at the Etihad Stadium. Diaz scored for FC Porto before Sergio Aguero from the penalty spot equalised for Manchester City. Diaz has looked very lively, both Ruben Dias and Diaz for FC Porto. The two Diazes, in my opinion, have both looked very lively. As FC Porto now have an opportunity on the edge of the area and a chance here again to potentially make Ederson work. A ball's chipped over, a little bit too much on that, and it does go out for a goal kick to Manchester City. Kyle Walker's not happy with something. He's shouting as he picks up a yellow card from the referee. I presume that's for the earlier challenge. He is late, he does miss the ball, the player does go down, and he is given a yellow card. So a good bit of refereeing that, I thought, there, to be fair. So Manchester City now building once again from the back. Ruben Dias seems to be involved with everything happening in this game so far. Plays a long ball forward. This time it does work. Riyad Mahrez picks the ball up. Aguero can't control his pass, and it is cleared at the back from FC Porto. The loose ball is picked up, though, by Manchester City. And City now look to try and work an attack, but it does, again, go backwards to that man. You guessed it, Ruben Dias. Another good ball threaded through. Aguero tries to pick up the loose ball. He goes down. Goal kick given. I felt that was a free kick, in my opinion. as Pepe there managed to, according to the referee, win it cleanly. I mean, Aguero gets there first, and then he just barges into the back of him. I'm not too sure why a free kick's not being given there, if I'm completely honest. Pepe doesn't play the ball, doesn't win the ball, just barges the man. Anyway, Manchester City now. No, it's not a free kick. The referee decided to give a free kick to FC Porto. So coming together between Bernardo Silva, who had the ball, and the FC Porto player, has been deemed a free kick to FC Porto. Not too sure how he works that one out, if I'm completely honest. I mean, I'm happy City's got the penalty, but I feel like the referee's been a bit iffy, in my opinion, in this early stages of this game, as we're progressing towards 30 minutes of the first half. So FC Porto choose to go long. The initial header is won by Manchester City. The second ball won by FC Porto. Before City managed to regain control of the football and work the ball all the way back to Ederson in goal. Ederson took a little bit of a heavy touch there, but he does manage to gain control and get a pass away for City, so no danger there as of yet, or nothing as scary as what that pass was before to, I think it was Ilkay Gundogan, where he wasn't on the same page as Ederson. The ball was given away and FC Porto had a flash shot over the bar. Even though City's got it at 1-1 and we have scored, and that came from the penalty spot, City have struggled to create chances, have struggled to have shots at the keeper, and they've struggled to really make things happen. So FC Porto making life very difficult here for Manchester City, making it difficult to create opportunities and ultimately making it difficult for City to then score goals. And so considering Porto went ahead, I'd say I'm quite happy that City relatively quickly have managed to pull this one back and get it back onto a level playing field, because it could potentially have sat at 1-0 for a very long time and City could have hit the panic stations, and that's where City tend to normally, as the game progresses, concede again and stuff. So I'm happy that they've managed to break them down. Ideally, I'd be looking for City to potentially get another goal before half-time and try and lead at half-time is what I'd be looking for if I was on the pitch. As the ball gets worked down the FC Porto left-hand side to the City right-hand side, Riyad Mahrez, though, loses possession for Manchester City, and FC Porto, you would think, eventually will clear their lines. Nice bit of distribution there, though. They're choosing not to hoof it, and they are pressed because of that, and Manchester City do win the ball high up. So a chance here for City to maybe make something happen. A poor pass, though, leads to an interception for FC Porto, and eventually they do bring the ball clear down their left-hand side. Potential counter-attack on, actually, here for FC Porto if they get it right. So they're attacking down their left-hand side, cuts inside. Kyle Walker overcommitted himself there. Still with the ball, FC Porto, they get a shot away, and Ederson does manage to scramble the ball with a very, very comfortable save for Manchester City. FC Porto, in my opinion, find it's a little bit too easy to come forward when they are choosing to come forward, albeit they're not coming forward that often. They're wanting to sit deeper and tighter and make life very difficult for Manchester City, which is exactly what it has been at this moment in time, as we've got a very horrible shot of Sergio Aguero on the ground before being lifted up and doing a very famous Sergio Aguero where he grits his teeth and goes, then gets up and gets on with it, which is the most Sergio Aguero looking face. And when he does get his statue at Manchester City, if it isn't of Sergio Aguero looking in pain but continuing whilst seemingly actually being okay, if that's not his statue face, then I'll be very disappointed. Honestly, does it at least once every game. Looks like he's in pain, but carries on. Love him. Love him a lot. Sergio Aguero, what a player. Some point City have to replace him, and how do you replace such a quality natural goal scorer like Sergio Aguero? How on earth do you do that? You do it like how you done it with Vincent Kompany, which the answer is you don't. You simply don't. As Bernardo Silva now is given a yellow card. Not happy about something. City need to keep their temperament in place here. Referee seems to be off on one at the moment. I'm amazed he's giving us He's giving him a yellow. So the pass has been distributed from FC Porto. He's going down. He's drifting down. He's losing his balance. And Bernardo Silva then clatters into the side of him, and he's given a yellow card for it because he's gone in with his arm and elbow. But Bernardo's chasing after the ball, so a free kick, yes. Yellow card, I think it's a bit harsh. So up to nearly 70 likes now, which is insane. Once again, we'll do the target. Let's see if we can hit 100. Obviously, I'm aiming for 100 for the live stream. I want to see if we can hit the 100 likes by half time. That would be sensational. As it's goal scorer Diaz that went down under that challenge from Bernardo Silva, which has seen him pick up a yellow card. So FC Porto get us underway. Instead of choosing to potentially lift the ball into the box, go backwards. As Cancelo now picks up a yellow card, he's not happy as well. His referee's just giving yellow cards left, right and centre at this moment in time. So ball comes over. I mean, Cancelo leans with his arm. It's a free kick. It isn't a yellow card. How is that a yellow card? He leans in with his arm. I see them types of headers and battles in the air at least 4 or 5 times per game. I can understand if Cancelo's done it 2 or 3 times and you've chosen to give him a yellow card, but first time he just leans in with his arm. As the FC Porto player is claiming that he's been elbowed in the head. Absolutely crazy. Anyway, City need to keep their discipline here, so we've got 3 players on yellow cards. Trust me, FC Porto will be fully aware of that and be targeting that. They'll be looking to potentially have Manchester City go down to 10 men. So City need to be careful here as we're drifting towards half-time. We're currently 36 minutes in. It's Manchester City 1, FC Porto 1 here at the Etihad Stadium as a ball is drifted into the box by FC Porto and picked up by Ederson, who rolls the ball out quickly as Manchester City potentially look to try and build an attack. Yeah, the City need to be very careful about them yellow cards. Referee's not only giving yellow cards out, but he's giving them out freely. He's giving them out very cheap. So need to be careful that they're not turning into red cards and allowing a platform for FC Porto to build themselves into this game. Terrible ball in from Manchester City, and it will be a goal kick here. Oh, he's given a corner. He's given a corner, a very cheap corner to give away. Not too sure if the FC Porto man has actually flicked that and out for a corner, but it was a diagonal ball played across. Way too much power on that, and that was just flying out for a goal kick. And it seems like an FC Porto player's got a little bit of touch on his head as it's gone through, as it's gone out for a corner. So a chance here for City to maybe put in a decent ball into the box. So it's Riyad Mahrez with the corner on the Manchester City right-hand side. Mahrez puts a ball into the box. It's not a terrible corner, and it is dealt with, though, eventually by FC Porto. City put a deep ball back into the box. It is headed clear by FC Porto, and Riyad Mahrez picks the ball up for a throw in which he takes quickly. Bernardo Silva now. So all the City players have gone back. So we've not got the big players up front. It's just Aguero sitting in the box on his own at the moment. A deep ball played across by Manchester City is cleared by FC Porto. Although City do pick up the ball again on their left-hand side. As City look to try and potentially build up another attack. As we're met with the first brick wall of FC Porto, which is their midfield. City look to work it round their midfield. It's a great ball, though. Riyad Mahrez. Can he get a ball across? He does. It's straight at Aguero, though, and the ball does bounce clear, and FC Porto can bring the ball away before the referee does give a free kick to FC Porto. Surprise, surprise. Rodri this time isn't happy. I'm surprised the yellow card hasn't come out. Anyway, Pep Guardiola's looking very animated on the touchline. He's clearly not happy. Must be not happy about the referee and how much attention he's wanting, and his ability here to just give away or give free kicks for literally anything, and giving away yellow cards for just a little bit more than anything. So FC Porto look to try and pass through. It's won back by Manchester City, though, high up here. Potentially an attack here. Riyad Mahrez picks the ball up on the right-hand side. He's on his... Can he get it onto his left foot? He can. He just shoot, and it is blocked and out for a corner there for Manchester City. Was an opportunity that for Mahrez. I'm surprised he didn't sell a dummy on his left foot and get it onto his right foot and potentially have a shot at goal there. But there we go. Does go out for a corner. I'm sure if that had gone in the back of the net, VAR would have found a reason to have disallowed it with potentially a foul in the build-up or touching an arm or something. As Bernardo Silva puts the ball into the box, it is clear, doesn't beat the first man. It's a disappointing ball into the box. City, though, do still have the ball on the left-hand side. It's now Aguero who's drifted out to the left-hand side. Chips a ball into Raheem Sterling. Ball is cleared eventually, though, by FC Porto as they do a Peter Kay style clearance there with an have it and put it into the stands to clear their lines and sort out their organisation and defensive lines. We're up to 75 likes. We've got 74 people tuning in. Legends. Thank you, everyone that has tuned in. I hope everyone's enjoying the live stream. Clearly, 75 people are because they have left a thumbs up, so that is much appreciated. We're aiming for 100 likes on this live stream, so any help towards that would be much appreciated. 5 minutes to go until half-time. Can we hit that by half-time? That would be legendary. As Manchester City now pick up the ball on the right-hand side. Mahrez is dispossessed, and FC Porto can bring the ball away. City have looked to try and target quite a few attacks down our right-hand side. It hasn't really worked out. Perhaps as the game goes on, maybe Ferran Torres might become an option for Manchester City, perhaps. Maybe he's got something else that he could offer. Maybe he could drift out on the left-hand side and put Sterling on the right-hand side. Remains to be seen. Anyway, FC Porto try to bring the ball away. It is eventually, though, dispossessed by Manchester City and out for a throw into FC Porto as another one of the Porto players is down on the deck, holding his back, not happy about something. I'm sure Manchester City will get a yellow card for it in the end as Kyle Walker went for a challenge. His knee goes into the back of his thigh and he goes down. I am amazed the referee literally hasn't given a yellow card, but I don't think he's blown for a foul originally there, because I think if he sees that, he'd definitely be given a free kick and Kyle Walker would be definitely getting that yellow card. That's pretty much my summary of this first half. It hasn't been a brilliant first half by Manchester City by any stretch of the imagination. So this FC Porto player is still down and receiving treatment. We've had a couple of these actually in the first half. So I reckon we might be in for a little bit of a lengthy stoppage time here with a VAR decision for the penalty to be awarded to Manchester City. A couple of goals for City as well. I reckon we might have 2 or 3 minutes at least added on here at the end of this first half, as we've currently got around 3 minutes to go until normal time is up for the first half. Here at the Etihad Stadium, it is Manchester City 1, FC Porto 1. So, play does get back underway. Free kick does come in. Manchester City do deal with it. FC Porto do pick up the loose ball, though, and try and launch their own attack down their right-hand side, Manchester City's left-hand side. The ball gets played through. Flag stays down. Ederson tries to gather the ball. It's cleared on the line by Manchester City. City really do get away with one. The offside flag still never went up. City just seem to be looking at the linesman waiting for something to go up, but the linesmen have been told the flag stays down even if it is offside. You keep on playing. That was a real opportunity there for FC Porto. They got the ball past Ederson, but it doesn't beat the advancing player who makes a block just before it went onto the line there. Again, a little bit too easy here for FC Porto, and he's onside, so if that had gone in, it would definitely have counted. It was nearly an own goal. I think it was that Rodri making the interception, Kyle Walker sliding in to make the interception. It wasn't a great ball once he'd got the ball past Ederson, if I'm completely honest, as an FC Porto player now goes down looking for a push. He's claiming for a push and wanting a penalty. Referee doesn't give anything as the attack continues for FC Porto, looking to try and put a ball into the box. They do get a ball into the box. It is cleared at the near post, though, by Eric Garcia and out for a throw-in as the referee halts play, so potentially wanting a penalty here via VAR. Needs to keep his hands down there, Joao Cancelo, if I'm completely honest, on Pepe. I mean, his hands do go up and Pepe just chucks himself to the ground as play continues here, so I'm going to presume no penalty is given. A little bit pathetic there from Pepe. Cancelo does need to be careful, though, with doing things and putting his hands up in the penalty area with all this going on with handball, and particularly with him having a yellow card as well. Last thing you need right before half-time is to concede a penalty. And the last thing you need right before half-time is to concede a penalty and pick up a second yellow card and go down to 10 men whilst you're at it. But situation's been avoided, and we're through now to the last minute of the half before we go into stoppage time here for this match at the Etihad Stadium. It is Manchester City 1, FC Porto 1. City haven't been great with their passing. They haven't looked very slick. They've looked a little bit lethargic. FC Porto has sat very deep. They haven't got too much pace up front, yet still found it relatively straightforward for them to launch attacks and try and hurt Manchester City. But they're not the Portuguese champions for no reason. They have got quality players there, and they can hurt Manchester City if and when they choose to come forward. City do need to be careful of that in the second half. They need to be careful of them yellow cards as well, because the referee has been, in my opinion, inept. So FC Porto now launching a counter-attack. It is won back though high up by Manchester City. City working the ball now in the centre as we're into stoppage time now. So I went for 2 or 3 minutes, and it is 3 minutes to be added on here for this first half. So we've still got a lovely 3 more minutes, which means we've got 3 minutes to try and get 16 likes. So if you're watching this live stream, leave a thumbs up. Let's see if we can get 100 likes before half time. That would be absolutely marvellous. Over 80 people tuning in now, so if you're watching this, leave a thumbs up so I know that you are enjoying this live stream. Any help towards my 100 likes would be much appreciated. 14 away now, as City bring the ball away in the middle. Once again, all players parked into the FC Porto half, sitting deeper as Cancelo is deemed to have brought an FC Porto player down, which means we're leading to a free kick. Fantastic, that, isn't it? To FC Porto once more. City look, they don't look like they've got much pace and legs in the middle either. I mean, I like Bernardo Silva, I like Rodri, never really had anything personally wrong with Ilkay Gundogan as well, but none of them 3 players that I've just mentioned are leggy. They're not quick runners, they're not crafty players. So I just feel like we're lacking a little bit of dynamacy in the, is that even a word? in the middle. Maybe a Phil Foden coming on in the second half or something might solve that. But City looked a little I'm not sure, just looked a bit off in the middle. Missing Kevin De Bruyne, I mean, quality player like Kevin De Bruyne, you are going to miss a player of that quality. So, yeah, we're through the 2 minutes of the 3 minutes added on here. It is still Manchester City 1, FC Porto 1. We are up to 91 likes, so we've got 9 likes. Let's see if we can get them 9 likes in this next minute. That would be fantastic if we can hit them 100 likes before half-time. Very doable, 9 likes. Let's see if we can do that. That would be great. As Manchester City just sloppily give the ball away once more, and FC Porto can launch an attack. The last attack you would think of the first half, but Kyle Walker matches the FC Porto man for pace, and City can bring the ball away. Potential counter-attack here if he could get that pass right. He doesn't, and Raheem Sterling isn't set away, as we're 5 likes away, 30 seconds, 4 likes away. Let's see if we can get them 100 likes. 30 seconds remaining. FC Porto on the Manchester City right-hand side. The ball goes into the box. It is headed over by FC Porto and out for a goal kick to Manchester City. And you would think that that will be that for the first half. Manchester City 1, FC Porto 1. 2 likes, 1 like away now, just before the half-time whistle. Can we get them 100 likes? There we go, 100 likes. Thank you everyone so much for that. We've still got 4 seconds. We've done it with 4 seconds to spare. Just in time. Half-time whistle does go, and it is Manchester City 1, FC Porto 1. Very lethargic half that from Manchester City. City nowhere near their best there. I could argue a case that we're a little bit lucky there that we have managed to go in on level terms here. City need to be a lot better. They're not really creating too much. when FC Porto are making mistakes, they're pressing really high to force a mistake back from Manchester City, and they've done that really well here in the first half, and they'll look to try and do that as much as possible in the second half. It doesn't help that the referee's blowing his whistle a lot and giving yellow cards for first-time challenges for fouls that simply, in my opinion, aren't yellow cards. I think that's something that FC Porto, again, might look to try and pressure Manchester City into mistakes and try and pressure the referee into giving red cards for players, in particular Cancelo, who seems to have given away a couple of free kicks for Manchester City, and a couple of questions have been asked of Cancelo, in particular from Pepe, trying to win a penalty back for FC Porto. So City need to be wary of the referee. I don't think he's a very good referee. And be careful of that, not to get themselves sent off or doing anything stupid. They also need to make sure they're cutting out the mistakes, like the mistake that happened for the goal, a really poor pass from Ruben Dias, which is not something that we've had to say whilst he's been in a Manchester City shirt, but it was a poor pass out. It led to the attack, poor bit of defending. Cancelo caught flat-footed at left-back, and a good shot from Dias saw the ball go into the back of the net to make it 1-0 on 14 minutes to FC Porto. City then managed to win a penalty just a few minutes later. Ilkay Gundogan managed to get a good shot onto the post after rounding the goalkeeper. He did step on the goalkeeper, so VAR did have a look at that before it crashed off the post, went to Raheem Sterling. Pepe went barging in. Raheem Sterling took the ball around him. It went out of play but got clattered by Pepe in the aftermath, and a penalty was given. The VAR decision stayed with the on-field decision of penalty to Manchester City, and Sergio Aguero managed to score from the spot for Manchester City. Wasn't a great penalty, has to be said, but it's a goal. It's exactly what Manchester City needed against a very stubborn defensive FC Porto, who are making life very difficult for Manchester City to create opportunities and to score goals. So City, when they do create opportunities, and I can guarantee as the game develops and the players start to feel a bit of fatigue, the opportunities will happen and mistakes will start to happen, and City need to make sure that they are punishing that. But they need to play a lot better in this second half. They need to up their tempo, and like I said, looking for to be a little bit more dynamic in that midfield. If that means sending Ilkay Gundogan more further forward or bringing on Phil Foden maybe, then that remains to be seen. But City needing to do a little bit more in this second half if they are wanting to win this game. But FC Porto looking to make this as difficult and as tight as possible for themselves to give them a fighting opportunity. FC Porto will be delighted with a draw away in Manchester, but you cannot rule them out potentially scoring again and possibly winning the 3 points here. And you can't rule out the same for Manchester City. We know how dangerous Manchester City are. We know how good City can be. And if City do turn up and play the way that we know they are capable of, then we are capable of picking up them 3 points. But it does mean we have got an exciting, lots to seek and lots to talk about second half. I am hoping, though, that Manchester City can come away with the 3 points for this group stage match come full time in this game. So looking at the stats, it's 70% possession for Manchester City, 30% possession for FC Porto. To be expected, 3 attempts for City, 1 on target. That 1 on target from a penalty spot, so we've only had 2 shots. Shows you how difficult FC Porto are making it for Manchester City that we're having. Just from the not including the penalty, we've had 70% possession. We've only mustered 2 shots and none on target, which isn't great. Like I said, City needing a little bit more in the middle. We are pressing and forcing mistakes, but we're getting pressed and forced into mistakes right after that. So City need to be, simply better. FC Porto, 5 attempts, 2 on target. They'll be happy that they've got a goal involved with that as well. 76% pass completion rate from FC Porto. They'll be happy with that. 87% pass completion rate there from Manchester City. We are always looking for it to be 90%. City haven't been as slick with their passes as what we've come to expect. Hasn't been the greatest performances from Manchester City. They really need to up the tempo and up their game in the second half. City have had more corners than FC Porto. 2 corners to their 1. Manchester City's tackle completion rate at 42%. FC Porto's at 44%. So near enough neck and neck. And speaking of neck and neck, aerial duels, 50-50. Both of them, both on 50% with their aerial duels. So, lots of defensive stats very equal here for Manchester City and for FC Porto. One thing that's standing out a lot to me, though, is the yellow card. City sitting on 3 yellow cards already. Like I said, FC Porto will be very aware of that, and they'll be looking to try and potentially target in this second half, potentially some red cards. So Kyle Walker is on a yellow card, Bernardo Silva's on a yellow card, and Joao Cancelo also on a yellow card, which isn't great if I'm completely honest. But the less said about the referee, I think, the better. So let's have a look at some of the halftime scores from the other Champions League games going around at this moment in time. So the earlier kickoffs, it was Real Madrid 2, Shakhtar Donetsk 3, after Real Madrid had a last-minute goal ruled out from VAR for interference or for offside. Salzburg 2, Lokomotiv Moscow 2, that is also full-time. The rest are half-time scores. It's currently Ajax 0, Liverpool 1, so Liverpool will be very happy with that. It was Manchester City's target, Nicolas Tagliafico, with an own goal in that game has given Liverpool the lead, which is not something that I would like to be saying, considering City have been chasing his signature and may have a look again in January. It is Bayern Munich 2, Atletico Madrid 0 in one of the games of the round. Goals have come from Kingsley Coman and Leon Goretzka. So 2-0 to the Champions League winners, the current Champions League winners, the holders. Midtjylland 0, Atalanta 3. Atalanta very dynamic, love attacking, love scoring goals. They'll be very happy with that. It's Inter Milan 0, Borussia Mönchengladbach 0 as well at the San Siro. Manchester City 1, FC Porto 1, and in Manchester City's group for the other game, it's currently in Greece, Olympiacos 0, Marseille 0. If you're interested in the Championship, some later scores, it's Cardiff 0, Bournemouth 1, QPR 0, Preston 1, Sheffield Wednesday 1, Brentford 2, Stoke 2, Barnsley 2, Watford 3, Blackburn Rovers 1 are all the later scores from England and in the Champions League. So there we go. Right, let's do a little bit of interaction with people. Why is De Bruyne doing live stream? I wish I was Kevin De Bruyne. I wish. I agree. Kelby, Foden on. I'd be bringing Foden on. I'd probably bring him on for Ilkay Gundogan, probably, is what I'd be looking for. Yeah, defence looking shaky. You got Eric Garcia that's not started many games and hasn't really impressed this season for me, in my opinion. Maybe why we're looking a bit shaky. Prediction, final score. I'm sticking with my original score. I'm going for 3-1 to Manchester City. Thank you, Tyreek. Appreciate that with your support there. Garcia off, Stones on. Stones looked very composed in that one game that he did play at the beginning of the season against Wolves, so that's not a bad shout if I'm completely honest. Ref has been a joke. Complete and utter joke. Just going through all the interactions and stuff because I've been doing a lot of commentary, so I've not really had a chance to interact with everybody. Petrol Pump FC. I presume you're saying attic there, pretty, but yes, that's exactly where we are. Hence, you've got the Velux windows just above me. I'd like to see Ferran Torres come on. Liverpool game. So I've not watched it. I'm watching this game, so I don't know what's happening with the Liverpool game, if I'm honest. Yeah, I think Cancelo at left back, in my opinion, shouldn't be a first team option that we consider him a left back. He should be, if we've got no one else to play at left back, then he can fill in at left back. So Mendy's always injured, and Zinchenko seems to be out of the reckoning, which is why he seems to be getting more and more games. So it makes the decision not to let Zinchenko leave and bring in a natural left back more and more baffling. I thought that would have been. City could pick up a left back for like £20 or £30 million, and I thought would be able to get £10 to £20 million for Zinchenko. So it wouldn't have taken much investment to have brought in a left back. But yeah, there you go. I think the season's going to be tough for a lot of people. I'll give a better judgment after the group stage, and I can give a better judgment after Christmas. Once you get the full reckoning of how we're going with the season being squeezed in with 5 or so weeks less. I think a lot of teams will feel the impact of injury and fatigue. But we'll see. What's up? An Ake that can we hear me? I'll presume that you can. Okay. Red light is on. Anyway, technical difficulties solved. But yeah, I'm not sure that City need a left-sided centre-back, if I'm honest. I'm happy with Laporte and Ake. I'm very happy with that. And Torres is a left-footed, left-sided centre-back. I have always said that I'd prefer Upamecano. Upamecano I do know is injury-prone, but I do think he's a good quality player that, considering we'd have Ruben Dias and probably John Stones still as an option, that it would suffice. Maybe City could look at a defensive midfielder that can also cover centre-back. I don't know. If Fernandinho was to leave, then City would need potentially a new defensive midfielder. I'd have thought that maybe City would have a look at Douglas Luiz once more from Aston Villa, considering we've got a clause to bring him back, but I don't know if he can cover centre-back. I mean, Harwood Bellis would be an option. Now would be a good time to be integrating him in and around the first team squad, considering we're going with Garcia. And you see what I mean? Like, that's why I'm frustrated. Like, mistakes happen and stuff. Like, if Taylor Harwood-Bellis starts in this game ahead of Eric Garcia and he makes mistakes, I wouldn't have a problem with it. But I just find it baffling. Find it really baffling. Right. What am I thinking about with the European Super League? Now, it's a competition that seems like it's going to replace the Champions League. So UEFA seemed very unhappy about it, and apparently it's FIFA backed. And it is being led by Manchester United and Liverpool. Now, if I'm honest, anything led by Manchester United and Liverpool automatically makes me not want to join it, if I'm honest. And there's one thing I like in football, it's integrity. I think football is very sacred, particularly here in England. And albeit I know there's lots of money involved for clubs and stuff like that, but I just feel like they're changing for the sake of changing, and I don't feel like things need changing, if I'm completely honest. I think the Champions League works really well. I think that the Premier League works really well. Why change? Why change things? It's just for the sake of money and changing things when it doesn't need changing. There's nothing wrong with how the Champions League's running. There's nothing wrong with the Premier League. Why does it need changing? I don't really understand, if I'm completely honest. Anyway, We do have the second half. That's right, we do have a second half. We do have the second half, which will be getting underway very soon. So we're just going to change the banner up on the screen to second, so everyone knows that it's the second half that we're going into now, as the players are coming down from the tunnel. As FC Porto come back out now for the second half. Obviously, with the 3 minutes added on, City's game is running behind some of the other games in Europe tonight. Still waiting for the players to come out fully. FC Porto taking their time. City are already out, got players warming up, including Phil Foden, which is good to see. As Manchester City now prepare to get us underway for this second half. A big second half coming up actually for Manchester City. Can they go on to win this game after falling behind? Currently 1-1 as we have kick-off now for this second half. The microphone is aching my arm. I will pick it up again for commentary in a bit. Just have a quick break and enjoy the game. So it's City now, once again, building from the back. No changes for the second half yet. We have got Phil Foden warming up, or had been warming up. Referee gives a free kick. I'm not sure if he's given a free kick for offside or handball there. The linesman never put his flag up, so I can't presume it is offside. I mean, if the referee's deemed an offside and ignoring what his linesman said, then that's just vintage of this referee. The referee has been horrendous. It's been awful, really awful. Anyway, City do bring the ball clear. I'm going to get onto Twitter. I want to have a look on Twitter and what people are saying. As Inter Milan's just gone 1-0 up against Borussia Mönchengladbach. Not much being said on Twitter, if I'm honest. City fans wanting them to grind here and grind out a win. It's not really clicked, has it yet, for City in this half? In this game. At least I don't think so, anyway. Oh, wow. Wow. So it's Kyle Walker running through his own penalty area away from one FC Porto player. I'm not sure if he was aware that there was another FC Porto player waiting for him centrally there. So he takes the ball around him. He takes a heavy touch. does have managed to beat him for pace, but it's another City player that ends up hitting the ball off the FC Porto player and out for a throw-in. But a little bit of a heart-in-mouth situation there. FC Porto have looked dangerous when they've wanted to be dangerous. City needing to do a lot more because they look pretty poor. Ball goes in, cleared, and the shot, and it's a good save from FC Porto's goalkeeper there. I think that was that Gundogan? Was it? I think it was Gundogan that got the initial shot underway. So it was a ball in from Bernardo Silva, cleared at the first man, and a good sweet shot on the volley from Ilkay Gundogan. A lovely placed volley with a good, big, strong left hand onto it from the goalkeeper. Pep had his hands in the air ready to celebrate there for a goal. Really good save and a good effort. Much better that from City. Taking shots first out. Something I'd like to see, just work that ball a little bit quicker. Have a couple of shots outside the box. Test the keeper's hands. See how he's feeling. Be a bit quicker. Just be a little bit more imaginative. Been a bit pedestrian from City. Been a bit slow. It's been not very good. But we've still got another half to go where we can put that right. Ball chipped in. Cleared. Picked up by Manchester City. Cleared again from FC Porto. He turns around. Just boots it out for a corner. He's not happy. The defender, he wants a free kick. He's not getting one though. And it's a corner kick here to Manchester City. And a chance for City to put a good quality ball into the box from this corner. As Gundogan looks like he's going to be taking it. Are they going to work it short? I'd like to just see City just put a ball. They do work it short. I'd like to see City just put a ball into the box, if I'm honest. Ball does eventually go in, and it's not very good, and it is collected by the FC Porto keeper, who now looks to launch a counter-attack. The FC Porto defender does have a foot race with Kyle Walker. He doesn't win that foot race, surprise, surprise, and City win the ball back. So there we go. I don't like the idea of these short corners, my opinion, but I don't like them. I'd rather just put a ball into the box and test the defence. It's another poor pass there from City. What's the matter with the passing at times? Poor. From defence to midfield, some of the passing's been really bad. Been quite an ugly game, this, hasn't it? Oh, that's great. Great run. Couldn't get a good quality ball in. Final ball there. Pretty poor. I think that was Cancelo there. Putting it nutmegging one of the FC Porto players. Dias for Porto. Works the ball past Walker. And deflected out for a throw into FC Porto. Come on, City, make something happen. Crossfield ball. It's a good ball. Mahrez, can he make something happen now? Ball into the box. It's so poor. No height onto it. It's just straight to the feet of the Porto defender to intercept. Chance here, FC Porto. Can he get a shot away? So good tackle. Really good tackle there from Manchester City. It was Diaz trying to work an attack there, and it was a really good tackle. Not too sure who made the tackle, but it was a good tackle nonetheless. Aguero tried to put a ball in. It was poor. I don't associate Sergio Aguero with crosses and putting balls in. bowled into the box, I mean, crosses, not putting balls in. I do associate him with putting balls into the back of the net. I'd say crossing and assists are his forte, so to speak. Ball played deep, cleared by Manchester City. And it goes out for a throw into City. I suppose it's going to be FC Porto throw. There we go. Throw into City on halfway. As Dias is going off for FC Porto. He's had a really good game, looked really lively, and he's going off. Not sure why, but he is. As it's Manarfa that's coming on for FC Porto. Right, we'll go into commentary mode again, I think. There's City working the ball from right to left. Cancelo to poor pass once more. Can City win it back in midfield? They can, but it's booted out for a throw in there from Rodri. So it's a throw into FC Porto inside their own half. They throw it long. It's a good throw, but can't control it properly, and it goes out for a throw into Manchester City inside their own half. Ederson now leading the attack for Manchester City. Passes it out. Eric Garcia. Ilkay Gundogan now through the middle. Rodri. He passes to Kyle Walker. Kyle Walker comes forward. Can they make anything happen here? Anything at all? Ball gets played forward. It's a decent ball across as well. Mahrez, can he get a ball across? He can. It's not a bad ball this time. It's a testing ball cleared by FC Porto. They do win that second ball and they can bring it forward. Although, free kick is given to Manchester City. A rarity. Manchester City have a free kick. I'd make that breaking news if I'm completely honest. We've been given a free kick for, I presume, handball. The player has headed it onto his hand, and a free kick given to Manchester City around 40 yards out on the City right-hand side as I'm looking at it. It isn't a shooting range here, but I would say that it is an opportunity to perhaps put in a good quality ball into the box. Hence, City have sent forward a few of their defenders, including Rodri and Ruben Dias. And I think Eric Garcia has gone forward as well. So a chance here for City to put a good ball into the box. Looks like it's going to be Gundogan. It is. He puts the ball into the box. It's won by City, and it goes wide. Right idea. Couldn't quite get the execution there. Rodri did win the header, but it does go sailing wide of the post. I think he was looking more to head it back across goal, looking for the far post for another City player to maybe get the chance. I'm not sure if he's going for goal there or whether he's trying to head it across goal. Looked like he's trying to head it across goal, which wasn't a million miles away. It was the right idea. Like I said, didn't quite have the execution to find Sterling at the back post, and instead it goes out for a goal kick to FC Porto. They do take the goal kick, and it is brought away eventually by Manchester City. But FC Porto is ping-ponging around in the middle, and FC Porto pick up the loose ball. So we're through 58 minutes here at the Etihad Stadium. Manchester City 1, FC Porto 1. Very scrappy game this, very scrappy. City, though, do bring the ball away. Can they make anything happen? So good ball now. Mahrez overlapped by Walker. Can he get something across? He can. It's a great ball. Aguero can't get a shot away, and a free kick is given, signalling that something's hit the arm, and a free kick is given to FC Porto. It was a great overlap from Walker and a good quality ball into the box. My only surprise, Aguero couldn't get control of the ball and get a shot away. So really good ball in. It is behind Aguero. He can't bring it under control. It hits his foot and does rebound up onto his hand. And the correct decision was made there by the referee. So I give credit where credit is due. So we're up to 114 likes. We passed our like goal of 100 likes during the latter stages of the first half, so to speak. So what should we aim for by the end? Should we look for? I'm going to aim for bettering my last live stream's likes. That got to over 140 likes. I think we can get to over 150 likes on this live stream. So any help towards that will be much appreciated. Really poor ball forward from City. Gives Gifts possession back to FC Porto. Possession has continued in the second half. 70% for City, 30% for FC Porto. City have had a couple of attempts, one on target. That shot volley from Ilkay Gundogan was a really good effort with a really good save. Other than that, though, been pretty quiet. FC Porto recorded no shots, but have looked dangerous when they want to cause Man City problems, is the way that we've gone in this second half. City still lacking the quality. As we head towards, we've passed now the 60th minute of this game, less than 30 minutes remaining. Now, in my opinion, would be a good time to maybe get some extra legs on in the middle. I'd be maybe looking at Phil Foden on for either Gundogan or possibly Rodri. I don't think Rodri's had too bad a game. I'd probably be bringing on Foden for Gundogan. Possibly even for Bernardo Silva. Perhaps. Really poor pass given away, though, from Manchester City. Once again in the middle, and FC Porto can spring an attack. They hit an early ball deep, dealt with by Ruben Dias. Loose ball picked up by FC Porto. They drive at the Manchester City defence. Really good interplay into the penalty area. FC Porto, ball goes across. It's cleared by Manchester City. Ball picked up once more by FC Porto. Opportunity still isn't gone. Ball gets played across. It's slightly behind the Porto man. He does pick up the ball, though. They're still in possession of the ball. No one really in the box for them to cross, so he's forced backwards and into their own half. So Manchester City are allowed to just get their defensive structure back in place. Ball comes forward. It's a poor ball forward, and Ederson can pick up the loose ball, and the immediate danger for Manchester City is over. Once again, poor pass. These mistakes that I've been speaking about. City, their own worst enemy, their own downfall at times. The Pep system and how he wants them to play, it demands perfection. And if you aren't at that level, you're just slightly below, you can tell, and it doesn't really tick. You end up with performances like we've got here, where the stats suggest that it's been, like with possession and how City are playing, it's been good, it's been all right, but when you're watching it, it just doesn't flow right. It doesn't look right. Sitting very deep here, FC Porto, but they look lively when City make mistakes and they want to go forward. The game here is there to be won for FC Porto. I can say the same for Manchester City. City need to force the issue, though. Needs a bit of quality. Sterling now, he's having moments in the game where he gets involved and other moments where he just drifts away and he's not really involved in the game. Mahrez the same. Mahrez kind of struggled to get involved much in the game. I think the problem's in the middle. I think City just need a little bit more energy and a little bit more legs in that middle. A couple of players coming on for substitute bench. Really liven that middle of the park up. Sharpen everything up. Phil Foden's definitely a player I'd be looking at. Maybe City might look at Fernandinho. I do not know. Another poor pass from City in the middle, and it's given away. Ball given away, though, from FC Porto. And a chance here maybe for City to drive. But a free kick is given. FC Porto very unhappy about this. And it's in a very good range, this, for Manchester City. It's roughly 25 to 30 yards out. Slightly left to centre of the penalty area. And a good opportunity here for City to potentially get a free kick and a shot at goal to test the hands of the goalkeeper. Player goes from behind, but he does get the ball, so I can see why he's disappointed. So it's Vieira that's a bit disappointed that a free kick has been given there. Albeit, though, a good opportunity here for City to get a shot away. No Kevin De Bruyne, of course. He is out for a couple of weeks, so I'm wondering who's going to be taking this free kick. Sterling stood over it. Rodri's around. Aguero's around. Sterling's around. Ilkay Gundogan's around. I can see Kyle Walker in the background as well. It does look like it's going to be Riyad Mahrez taking this free kick, though. Like I said, it's slightly to the left of centre. It is central, but it's slightly to the left, so there's a little bit of an angle. I'm wondering if it's going to suit maybe the right footer more than the left footer. Which means it might be Gundogan taking it rather than Riyad Mahrez. This is an opportunity, so JSGC is going to sit up and pay proper attention here. So Mahrez takes a couple of steps back, so it looks like it might be Mahrez taking this free kick. No, it's Gundogan, gets a shot away. It's a brilliant goal! It's an absolutely brilliant goal by Ilkay Gundogan. He does score from that free kick. It's a fantastic free kick, in fact. He does score. I did say it suited the right footer more than the left footer, and it is Ilkay Gundogan taking that free kick to make it Manchester City 2, FC Porto 1. I tell you what, it's not a perfect free kick. It's not near the top corner. It's just enough. The wall doesn't really jump properly to head that ball over. And the goalkeeper's got his position a little bit wrong there. He's slightly too far over to his left-hand side. And so all it needs is a shot that's just out of reach, which is exactly what Ilkay Gundogan has done. And so Ilkay Gundogan has made it Manchester City 2, FC Porto 1. City have come back from behind. We need to change up the thing, so let me have a look. That should bring FC Porto out to play. We'll change up the score. 2-1 to Manchester City. We're on it there. There we go. Brilliant free kick, that, though, from Ilkay Gundogan. Fantastic free kick. So City preparing a couple of substitutions. I did see one of them is Ferran Torres as the yellow card comes out. I'm going to presume for a Manchester City player. I see an FC Porto player rolling around, of course. He likes to do that. It is Aymeric Garcia with the yellow card. Oh, no, sorry. Ilkay Gundogan. Is it Aymeric Garcia? No, it's going to be Aymeric Garcia. I mean, he wins the ball. I mean, there's two FC Porto players. Is it the high boot that comes flying up? I don't get it. I do not get it. So 4 yellow cards for Manchester City. 4 yellow cards. City are preparing their 2 substitutions. One of them is the goal scorer, Ilkay Gundogan. So good free kick, don't get me wrong. I just think the wall not jumping and the position of the goalkeeper is probably what's at fault. And it is what I've been looking for. Extra legs in the middle, Phil Foden, that does come on. Ferran Torres is going to be the other substitution, although City aren't making that sub yet. Not too sure why. Ferran Torres looked ready to go just before City had scored. In fact, they are making that sub now, and it is the other goal scorer, Sergio Aguero, that's going off. And Ferran Torres coming on. So I presume Ferran Torres is going to go on the left-hand side of attack for Manchester City. And it's going to be everyone's favourite Raheem Sterling going up top, which we all know how keen I am on seeing Raheem Sterling playing as the striker. And in case you can't detect sarcasm, yes, that is sarcasm. So Manchester City now working the ball again. Hopefully that might just let City relax a little bit now that we've got the lead. And be able to play our more natural game, I would hope. As Inter Milan's now 1-1 against Mönchengladbach. Bayern Munich are 4-0 up against Atletico Madrid. Liverpool still 1 up, and it is still in City's group. Olympiacos 0, Marseille 0. City now working the ball down the left-hand side for an attack. A little bit too much on that. It is dispossessed by FC Porto. And won back well by the new substitute that's come on, Phil Foden. So extra legs for Manchester City now. Little bit more pace in the middle for FC Porto to think about, with Raheem Sterling, you would think, going more centrally. Ferran Torres going out wide and Phil Foden coming on in the middle for Ilkay Gundogan. More pace, more legs there for Porto to think about. Tired legs with City 2-1 up and having the majority of the possession in the game. You would hope that player fatigue may just open this game up and allow for maybe a couple more opportunities for City to try and make something happen. Raheem Sterling now works a pass really well. Riyad Mahrez on the attack into the penalty area, turns. Can he get a ball into the box? He tries. A good block though by FC Porto, and a really good pickup allows for a free kick to be given to FC Porto by Rodri. Bit of a tactical foul, that one, and I'm amazed that the yellow card hasn't come out, if I'm completely honest. I am amazed. So, we're through 70 minutes of the game. We've got 20 minutes left. It's Manchester City 2, FC Porto 1 here at the Etihad Stadium. In the Champions League group stage, match day 1 for Manchester City. It's pot 1, FC Porto going up against pot 2, Manchester City, FC Porto, the champions of Portugal. Manchester City still got games to come next week. During midweek, an away match in France against Marseille. Just before the international break, we will face a home game against the Greek side Olympiacos. As Manchester City tried to come forward through Raheem Sterling, he's blocked off. No free kick given. Surprise, surprise. Eric Garcia leads a pass down to Ferran Torres. City now casually just taking their time, as they've had nearly 450 passes at the moment during this game. City on course, you would think, for over 600 passes. Has been a good display for the stats for Manchester City for possession and passing and stuff. And they haven't been too bad on their aerial duels and tackling either. FC Porto have been very good on that as well. However, the most important stat is that scoreline that you can see on the bottom corner of my screen, reading Man City 2, FC Porto 1. City grinded at the weekend against Arsenal. City grinding once more here against the Portuguese champions at home once more. Phil Foden, great pass. Chance here now, big chance. And it's 3-1. There it is. You would think it's going to be the 3 points for Manchester City. It's a great pass from Foden. The two substitutes combine into Ferran Torres on his right foot. Good finish. Manchester City 3, FC Porto 1. Decent finish, that. Make sure there's no offside before I change the score there. Decent pass. Good turn. Pepe sold too easily. Good finish. Really good finish, that, from Ferran Torres. Doing the world of good. Ferran Torres had a great game against Burnley in the Carabao Cup just a few weeks ago. Comes on as a substitute and doing really well as well here. Sells Pepe down the drain. It's a really good finish, actually, from Ferran Torres as well. Pep's delighted. I'm delighted. I'm sure everyone's delighted with that. You would think that would be Manchester City on course for the 3 points in this Champions League match now. It's a good opportunity for me just to check some of the other scores. Everything's still the same scoreline as what it was last mentioned. Just have a look at the Championship. Cardiff 1, Bournemouth 1, Sheffield Wednesday 1, Brentford 2, Stoke 2, Barnsley 2, QPR 0, Preston 2 and Watford 3, Blackburn Rovers 1. A good tackle from Manchester City to win the ball back high up. Been a much better second half. I did say Ferran Torres, Phil Foden would be a good couple of subs for Manchester City to make. Has caused the problems. It has forced FC Porto just to sit a little bit further back. They've stopped pressing Manchester City, and the extra legs when you're having to chase shadows and you're not having too much possession makes it very difficult. And when you've gone ahead and then you've gone behind after, well, basically having some form of reward in the form of a point for so long in the game, as the game goes on, the wear and tear of the game and player fatigue hits, and it makes it just that more difficult. And the extra pace and extra bit of nip from Phil Foden and Ferran Torres is, in my opinion, a couple of well-timed substitutes from Manchester City, which has caused all kinds of problems for FC Porto. As another counter-attack comes forward, led by Ferran Torres, driving Manchester City forward. Ferran Torres looked very good since coming on for Manchester City, a substitute, of course, for Sergio Aguero, as Manchester City put the ball out of play for an FC Porto player who is down injured at the moment for him to receive treatment. So, less than 15 minutes remaining here. City have that killer 2-goal cushion. Looking rosy for Manchester City after it didn't look so good for us to start with. So the FC Porto man receiving treatment on the field, as FC Porto are making 3 substitutions. Not often you see 3 substitutions coming on. I'm wondering if you're allowed to make more than 3 subs. I'm not too sure. You must be, because they've already made a substitution, as Nakajima comes on for Sansui. You've also got Corona coming off for Nanu. Been a bit quiet in this game, Corona. Ironically named. And of course, the injured FC Porto man that's just gone down is also hobbling off. Vieira and Taremi is coming on for FC Porto. So I'm fairly sure that's their 4th substitution. So I'm not sure how many substitutions you're allowed to make in the Champions League, but it seems like you're allowed to make more than 3. So I'm wondering if you're allowed to. They've gone back to doing the 5 that was doing before. When the Premier League and the football had first resumed. That's why we're allowed to name 12 subs, and you can bring on 5 players, I'm wondering. Which I'm personally in favour of. I think that should have been left as it was, just for this season only. While the season's short. As Ederson goes long. So good ball, nearly finds Riyad Mahrez behind the last line of defence there from FC Porto. City win the ball back. City's pressing's been very good in this game. It was very good in the first half. It was just City were being pressed straight away into mistakes and giving the ball away. So they were struggling a little bit. So it's become relatively comfortable, this, for Manchester City. We've got 12 minutes or so remaining. Manchester City 3, FC Porto 1. Was my score prediction before the game as well. So at the moment, I'm bob on the money. Still plenty of time for other goals and for FC Porto to get back in the game as a shot goes flying over the bar. thankfully for Ederson, as Marega had a shot there from around 35 yards out central to goal. Wasn't under any pressure. Don't really blame him for going for goal there. He's going to find it quite difficult to beat Ederson from such a range. Had an attempt, flying over the bar. It remains Manchester City 3, FC Porto 1. As I'm just going to have a look at what's happening around the other grounds to see if there's any more goals. It doesn't look like there's any more goals at this moment in time from any of the games in the Champions League or the Championship as well, as another FC Porto player goes down. This time it looks like for cramp. So a lot of chasing for FC Porto to have done in this game, as the indication is that he's okay. So FC Porto are preparing another substitution. So yeah, like I said, you must be allowed 5. They're preparing their 5th substitute. So I'd have thought Manchester City, as the game develops, would probably see this as an ideal opportunity to maybe send on a couple of youngsters, give a player a few minutes rest, and give them some minutes as well. No point in risking first team players if you're 3-1 up with a few minutes remaining, as FC Porto make their 5th substitution of the game. It's Evanilson that's coming on for Sarr. Ederson goes long from a goal kick, drives it right up to Raheem Sterling. Mahrez picks up the second ball. He's going to be crowded out, and it is dispossessed by FC Porto. They do bring the ball away, but a poor pass means Eric Garcia can pick up the loose ball and work the ball back to Ederson. Kyle Walker now brings the ball forward via a hoof. It will be dealt with by Pepe, although it is won back by Raheem Sterling. He's looking for support. He does have support. It's left. Phil Foden just couldn't control that then with his left foot to get a shot away. Ferran Torres, though, picks up the pieces on the edge of the box. City are working the ball backwards, as FC Porto managed to get their numbers back in place and their organisation back in place as well, as City now need to try and build up again and sustain another attack. Nearly from Manchester City having a decent opportunity, nearly, as a deep ball goes in and goes flying out of play for a goal kick to FC Porto. So we've got 9 minutes or so remaining here. It is still in Manchester. Manchester City 3, FC Porto 1. Goals today for Manchester City. So firstly, it was Dias that scored in the 14th minute for FC Porto, before Manchester City equalised on the 20th minute from the penalty spot via Sergio Aguero, thanks to a foul from Pepe on Raheem Sterling that was lengthily checked by VAR. Manchester City took the lead midway through the second half via Ilkay Gundogan's free kick and a bit of poor positioning, I felt, from the FC Porto goalkeeper, before a lovely finish from the substitute Ferran Torres has seen Manchester City 3-1 up after being 1-0 behind, which you're always going to take like every day of the week when going behind to be 3-1 up later in the game. City pressing really high, a chance here for the 4th. Lots of runners for Sterling, goes for Mahrez. Oh, it's a good save. It's a really good save from the FC Porto goalkeeper. He looks unhappy with his defence. A decent opportunity for Mahrez, because it was one high up there. Sterling did have options both left and right. Goes right for Riyad Mahrez. I think that was the right option in my opinion. Mahrez just couldn't beat the hand of the goalkeeper, and he gets a good... Sorry, it's his foot actually, and it's a good save. Goes out for a corner though to Manchester City with less than 8 minutes remaining here. City preparing their 3rd substitution. It looks like it's Fernandinho that's coming on for Manchester City. This will be their last senior to shore everything up, and I imagine as we head towards the 90th minute, it'll then be a couple of young players that come on for City, which, considering we're 3-1 up and, in my opinion, looking relatively comfortable, I'd maybe have... I agree with putting Fernandinho on, bit of experience, but maybe have another substitute as well with a young player and give them 10 minutes or so. Another good ball forward for Manchester City. Raheem Sterling does go down. Looked like it was in the penalty area. There's an aftermath with Pepe. Something's happening. And it's hit the post. There was a shot there from around 45 yards and it's hit the post from Manchester City. I have to see a replay there of what happened. I was too busy having a look at what was happening with the afters of Raheem Sterling and Pepe. It's carrying on once more. Raheem Sterling wants VAR to have a look. The referee's having a word with Pepe. Pepe signalling that Raheem Sterling has dived. Referee's telling Raheem Sterling to go away. It's reckless there from Pepe. Doesn't win the ball. He's furious. Shouts at Raheem Sterling. Then shoves his knee into his arm. Raheem Sterling picks up his leg. He isn't happy about something here. Referee's got a decision to make here. Not only for potentially having a look at a penalty, but for maybe having a look at something more sinister there. Pepe's given a yellow card for that action. Proper like a bulldog, really reckless as Rodri comes off and Fernandinho does come on for Manchester City. Something's been exchanged between Fernandinho and the FC Porto manager. Apparently Fernandinho has been laughing at the management because obviously he's Brazilian and understands Portuguese, so he's unhappy about something. Pep's getting involved. It's all getting a bit feisty in this match with 6 minutes remaining as Rodri comes off at the opposite end of the pitch and Fernandinho does come on. Anyway, so it's not a penalty to Manchester City. There isn't any red cards or anything. All getting a bit heated here in this Champions League group stage match between Manchester City and FC Porto as Ederson brings the ball clear for City. And the goalkeeper goes straight to the FC Porto goalkeeper and he picks up the pieces here. Maybe a little bit of frustration coming into play for FC Porto there, I'm not too sure. It's up to 128 likes, so let's see if we can get to that 150 likes. That's what we're aiming for, see if we can better the likes from our last live stream against Arsenal as FC Porto pick up a free kick around 40 yards out to their right hand side, so there's a good chance here for them to maybe whip a ball into the box. FC Porto will see this as a good opportunity to not only put a ball into the box but maybe try and test Ederson and get a goal. 5 minutes remaining or so here is a good time for them to score and get back into the game. A deep ball goes in and it's too deep and does go out of play for a goal kick to Manchester City. Not a great ball in that from FC Porto. In the midst of all that happening there, it was an attempt from around 40 yards out. It was Rodri, and it's a great save from their goalkeeper. Gets two hands onto it and pushes it onto the post. That's what's happened there. That was a crazy few seconds. City hitting the post, could have had a penalty. Pepe could have been sent off. Everything was getting heated. Fernandinho was having a go at the manager. It's all a bit crazy. Yeah. Is it? I've been informed that it is Inter Milan 1, Borussia Mönchengladbach 2 at the San Siro. So a little bit of a Champions League shock there. And importantly for City in our group, a goal at Greece. It is Olympiacos 1, Olympique Marseille 0. That is interesting, as Atalanta are now 4-0 up away at Midtjylland. Bayern Munich are still 4-0 up, and Liverpool are still 1-0 up away at Ajax. So they'll be very happy with that result, Liverpool, if it does stay the same. As FC Porto now got a chance on the left-hand side, a good ball into the box. It is flicked on by City's head to bring the ball away from them players, and City have the opportunity to bring the ball away. Phil Foden now works the ball rather than hoofing the ball via Ferran Torres. It is given away though by Manchester City, and FC Porto now having a little spring in their step, trying to have one final push, looking for a goal. They probably need a goal in the next 3 minutes in normal time to stand a chance of maybe getting something from this game. It does mean that if City do win the ball back, there will be space because FC Porto will push more and more players forward. Is there going to be another goal in this game? Ball comes forward from FC Porto. It's collected by Ederson. It's not a very good ball forward at all. Clock ticking down. 2.5 minutes remaining. Manchester City 3, FC Porto 1. Ederson, once again, long distribution, brings the ball forward, tries to find Mahrez, doesn't quite find Mahrez. FC Porto bring the ball away through Pepe. Ball's exchanged between them and the left back, and they bring the ball forward. So a good bit of play from FC Porto, to be fair, and now they can centralise it and maybe look to spring an attack. They do have to work it out from the back, though, but they are doing so. So good ball played forward. Aymeric Garcia surely going to just clear his lines here, and does. Out for a throw-in just next to the Manchester City corner flag to FC Porto. Less than 2 minutes remaining here. City have got the cushion of 2 goals. So FC Porto needing to get a goal quickly to try and get back in this if they are to stand a chance of trying to get anything from this game. It's Nanu now that's going to take a throw in. It looks like he may take a long throw here. Tries, it's poor. Should have been cleared by Ferran Torres. It isn't. Pepe brings the ball away. Gets a throw in for FC Porto off Ferran Torres. Throw-in comes in. A chance here for a shot maybe for FC Porto, but they don't. They're working the ball again. It's out wide. A chance to maybe put a ball into the box. They do. It's going to be cleared by Manchester City. Raheem Sterling now brings the ball away for City. It looks like he's going towards the corner flag, which I, to be honest, don't really blame him. City now just going into a little period of the game, just kind of delaying and just looking to waste time as a free kick goes in to FC Porto, and City pick up their 5th yellow card. Fernandinho's only just come in, wants to get in on the action. He wants a yellow card, gets himself a yellow card. He'll be happy now. Porto now into what? 30 seconds or so remaining of normal time. Can they bring anything forward to launch one final attack to try and work their way back into the game? At the moment, 3-1 seems a little bit far for them to try and force anything from the game. All depends on how long's going to be added on. We've had a couple of injuries in this match. We may have 3 or 4 minutes added on. A ball comes over, it's poor. It's out for a throw into Manchester City, and that's that for normal time. We head into added time here, and it is only 3 minutes to be added on here. So we've got 3 minutes more to be left before Manchester City can start their Champions League campaign with a win in the group stage against FC Porto. 3-1, pretty decent result, in my opinion. We've got some full times coming in, so it's finished Bayern Munich 4, Atletico Madrid 0, and Midtjylland 0, Atalanta 4. Inter Milan have equalised against Borussia Mönchengladbach, so it is now at the San Siro, Inter Milan 2, Mönchengladbach 2. As City working the ball from right to left via Raheem Sterling and Ferran Torres. There's still 2 minutes or so remaining here at the Etihad Stadium. City in cruise control. I'm amazed they haven't made a couple more substitutions, if I'm completely honest, and bringing on a couple of young players, not only to waste time, but to also have a couple of fresh legs on the pitch. But there we go. Good ball forward. A chance here maybe for City to have a shot. It's miscontrolled. I think that was Ferran Torres that had miscontrolled that, as City now launch another attack through Phil Foden. The deep ball goes in. It's not very good, and it will be picked up by FC Porto. Fernandinho goes down. He's only just come on, and he's picked up an injury, which really isn't good for Manchester City, as FC Porto choose not to put the ball out. Controversial, as the ball eventually does go out, and play is stopped, and Fernandinho can receive treatment. So we brought Fernandinho on. We didn't really need to bring him on, and that's City. Last thing we need is more injuries after having quite a few injuries already. Bringing on a senior player like Fernandinho to pick up another injury isn't great. When they're going down, not being challenged is never good. He is holding his hamstring, so it's looking like it might possibly be a hamstring injury. And if it is quite a serious one, then that could be a few weeks out for Fernandinho. Overstretching there and making a pass. Something isn't right. Feels it straight away and chooses to go down. He's shaking his head. Grasping in pain. Hamstring injury. Which isn't brilliant at all. Pep strokes his head. Bit of a needless substitution to have brought on. Like I said, considering we've got 4 or 5 youngsters on the bench, I'd have probably been looking to maybe bring on 4 or 5. Maybe brought on a couple of them youngsters instead. As John Stones is going to come on for Manchester City here. Like I said, it's we're in a stage of the game where you may as well bring on one of the kids, because it doesn't mean anything. matters more to the kids to come on and get some minutes under their belts than it does to bring John Stones on. Like, what does City do if they choose to play on for another minute and a half here? Because that's how long Fernandinho's been down, and John Stones, knowing John Stones, picks up an injury as well. Needless. Cheers, pal. So Fernandinho does come off. He's walking, but he's gingerly. I tell you, that looks like a hamstring injury. City now, bringing the ball away. We're just waiting for that full-time whistle. And the confirmed 3 points for Manchester City here. SC Porto looking to maybe try and just end it on their terms. Try and get a goal. We're a minute over time. Fernandinho, of course, going off injured there is why we're a minute over time here. City bring the ball away eventually now. Maybe for the last attack. Is the referee going to blow his whistle? As FC Porto put the ball out for a throw. I mean, I don't understand why the referee don't just blow the whistle. The game's done. I'm pleased to say my 3-1 prediction is spot on. For once, I predict a match result right. Unless there's a goal. But no, there it is. Full-time whistle goes. It does finish in Manchester. Manchester City 3, FC Porto 1. A good first game here for Manchester City. Just having a look at the other results in the Champions League, it has finished Olympiacos 1, Marseille 0. So it means that at this moment in time, Manchester City are top of their group in the Champions League, which is fantastic and leads us nicely into a game next midweek in the Champions League against Marseille. So Manchester City's next game will see us take on West Ham away in the Premier League Saturday at I think it's 12:30 we're kicking off at. Taking on West Ham away in London. We will then have a match next Tuesday, taking on Marseille in France. A difficult away game for Manchester City, but we know that considering we've won today in our first home game of the Champions League campaign against FC Porto, that if we can follow that up with a win in France and get our campaign off to a perfect start, that Manchester City can have a platform there to try and build on potentially trying to win their group. What I would be looking for, in my opinion, trying to do that ASAP. I mean, normally you're looking at around 13, 14 points and you're wanting to hit that after, 5 games or so for Manchester City, so that when you do get to that 5th and 6th game in the latter stages, City are able to make a lot of squad rotation for the future games coming forward in the Premier League is what I'd be looking for. It's not an easy group for Manchester City. It is a favourable group considering what it could have been. It's still a group that does need winning. It's where City do need to play to the best of their ability. And I thought second half City were a lot better than what they were in the first half, which ultimately saw us come out on top to win 3-1 here against a good team in FC Porto. So a lot of work still for Manchester City to do, but a win is a win. Olympiacos have won in Greece against Marseille, so it has gone with the home teams. So Manchester City head into the next game away against Marseille, knowing that if we can win that, then we have got a solid platform to build the rest of our group stage on. And then the week after, we do play another game against Olympiacos at home. These are games, I look at them games and I'm saying to myself, I'm wanting 3 wins, I'm wanting 9 points. There's a platform to Manchester City well on their way to qualifying, and should be, if that does happen, well on their way to also winning the group. So let's have a look at the stats for this game. With a smile on my face, Manchester City have come back after falling behind to a Dias goal for FC Porto in 14 minutes. A 20th minute penalty from Sergio Aguero after Raheem Sterling was clattered by Pepe. saw a penalty given and Aguero just about converting that penalty. 65th minute, free kick, Ilkay Gundogan managed to put Manchester City ahead for 8 minutes later on the 73rd minute. Ferran Torres sealed the deal for Manchester City to make it Manchester City 3, FC Porto 1. So Manchester City had 68% possession in this game compared with FC Porto's 32. 9 shots for City, just 6 on target, 3 goals. Clinical, I'm happy with that. 6 shots for FC Porto, 2 on target, 1 goal for them. Nothing for Ederson much to do in the second half, so he'll take that, I am sure. 87% pass completion rate, 76% pass completion rate there for FC Porto. 4 corners compared to 1 for FC Porto in this match. 50% tackle completion rate from Manchester City. 73% tackle completion rate for FC Porto, which is phenomenal. Aerial duels, though, a lot stronger from Manchester City in the second half, so the whole game go to 67% win percentage of aerial duels for Manchester City compared with 33% for FC Porto. 1 save for Ederson to make compared with the 3 saves that FC Porto's goalkeeper had to make, and 1 yellow card for FC Porto. 5 yellow cards for Manchester City. Referee was poor, but it's 3-1. It's a nice grinding win for Manchester City. On to West Ham on Saturday. We will have a live stream out for that, of course, which will be out probably on Friday for you to click and set your reminder ready for that watch along on Saturday early afternoon. So let's do some little interaction with everybody. Not ending the live stream just yet. See what everyone seems to be quite pleased. People, the ref definitely does have something against City. Wasn't a great referee. FIFA, thank you for tuning in. Yes, I'm very good. Thank you. Thank you for dropping by once more. Is it 6 subs you're allowed to make in the Champions League? That is pretty crazy. I wasn't aware of the rule changes, if I'm completely honest. But yeah, very good grinding win this for Manchester City. I thought I'm happy, if I'm honest. I am happy with how this game has gone. I'm happy that Manchester City have managed to pick up the win. I'm happy that we've got the 3 points in the bag for this game and a good start to the Champions League campaign. Man of the match, JSGC's man of the match. I can't really give it to a substitute, but I thought that Ferran Torres and Phil Foden, when they came on, both had very good games. I'm probably going to give mine to Rodri. I thought Rodri had a very solid game for Manchester City, so I'm going to give Rodri my JSGC man of the match. Let me know in the chat who you think your man of the match was. I'm sure lots of people will disagree and have their own players, but I thought that Rodri had a pretty good game here for Manchester City. See, Sammy are going for Kyle Walker for his man of the match. Yeah, let's have a look at the other Champions League games before we head out, see the full-time scores for the other games and see how everything has ended. So, early kickoffs today, Real Madrid 2, Shakhtar Donetsk 3, big shock there. Red Bull Salzburg 2, Lokomotiv Moscow 2 is also an early kickoff that finished. It did finish Ajax 0, Liverpool 1, so they'll be ecstatic to pick up a solid win in Amsterdam and sets up a nice solid platform for Liverpool as well to try and progress to the last 16. Bayern Munich starting where they mean to go on, winning 4-0, resuming where they mean to go on, winning 4-0 against Atletico Madrid in Germany. Midtjylland 0, Atalanta 4, a great win there for Atalanta. Free scoring Atalanta, love attacking, love scoring goals, no different. Did really well in the Champions League last season, looking to have a good campaign this season as well. Inter Milan 2, Borussia Mönchengladbach 2, finished at the San Siro after Mönchengladbach did take the lead, but a late equaliser there from Inter Milan. Of course, it's finished 3-1 to Manchester City, as we know, during this watch-along against FC Porto. And lastly, it's Olympiacos 1, Marseille 0 that has finished. Just having a look at that game, it was Hassan that scored for Olympiacos in the 91st minute. So there we go. In the Championship, if you are interested, it's finished Cardiff City 1, Bournemouth 1, QPR 0, Preston North End 2. Sheffield Wednesday 1, Brentford 2. Good win there away for Brentford in Sheffield. Stoke 2, Barnsley 2, and Watford 3. Blackburn Rovers 1. So there we go. That concludes another live stream. It concludes another game. Yeah, there we go. Thank you very much, Tyrek. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for the support. Much appreciated. It was an own goal from Ajax. It was Tagliafico that scored the own goal. Not really drank that much. I mean, I still got about this much left of the can, so I'll chug this, and we'll end the live stream there. There we go. I think that's a good way to end the live stream. Right, I'll just do my promotions now, and we'll end it there. So thank you everyone for tuning in. So Wednesday evening, Champions League's back for Manchester City. 3 points is 3 points. 3 goals for Manchester City. We grinded, we worked hard, we won 3-1. What's not to like? Like I said, live stream link out Friday. Stay tuned for Saturday, 12:30 kickoff. Excuse me, against West Ham. So I'll see you all for that. Don't forget, if you're watching this live stream and you're enjoying the live stream, then leave a thumbs up. I mean, we're on 138 likes. I'm aiming for 150. So if we can hit 150, that would be absolutely brilliant by the time that I finish my promotions. Got over 50 people tuning in. So if you are one of them 50 people that's currently tuning in and you haven't left a thumbs up, then please, I would appreciate if you did leave a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new around here. Press that red button, press the bell, and put your push notifications on. I seem to have been on 13,700 subscribers for absolutely ages. We are very, very close to 13,800. So if you are watching this, you are enjoying the content, then make sure you press that red button. That'd be much appreciated. And press that bell if you wish to. Put your push notifications on to be notified immediately for when I do upload. Let me know your thoughts, not only in the chat on the side, but also in the comments below of this live stream. Who is your man of the match? Do let me know, because I'm sure there'll be lots of differing opinions on that. And how do you think Manchester City performed? And also, don't forget, social media links, you can find them. They're in the description if you want to go and click the links and follow me on my Twitter and Instagram. You can also find them just below where my face is if you want to go and search for me and follow me on there. I will not be doing a fan reaction, by the way, for the Champions League games. I'm cut for time at the moment. I'm happy just to do them for the Premier League and just leave them for the Premier League for now. If I get more time, then obviously I'll do them for the cup competitions, including the Champions League as well. But I'm a bit short for time and stuff like that. With I've just started a job and everything, so yeah, we'll see how that goes. But for this game anyway, I won't be doing a fan reaction, so you don't have to send me your videos. We'll save that for the Premier League game on Saturday. Don't forget also, email also just below me too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. Like, comment, share, subscribe. 3 goals, 3 points. I got my score prediction absolutely bob on. I'll see you all again very soon for the next live stream. Stay tuned for that video link for the West Ham game, which will be live on Friday. So I'll see you all again on Saturday for that Premier League game away in London against West Ham. And if you're enjoying the Champions League ones and you like tuning in for them, then I will see you all again for the Marseille game away in France next Tuesday. So I've been JSGC. 142 likes. Can we get 8 more likes, please? 7 more likes. Right, let's get the momentum going. I'm not ending this till we get to 150. I want 150. We're very close, so I'm not ending that. 150 likes. 7 more likes. If you're watching this, you're enjoying it, then do leave a thumbs up. I want to hit them 150 likes, and then we'll leave it there. Been a good win this. I'll have a look on Twitter actually, whilst if anyone's watching this hasn't left a thumbs up that they can, and we'll see what the general reaction is actually on social media and what people are saying. People talk about the Fernandinho injury. People talking about the referee. People talk about the aggression of FC Porto as well, and having a revenge plan in place for the match in Porto when we do go and play them away from home. Yeah, but good point here. Ruben Dias had a very good game. Won all his ground duels, won all his aerial duels, had a good passing accuracy, 94%, 117 touches, 2 tackles, 2 interceptions. Only thing he did wrong was the pass which led to the goal. Otherwise, he'd have had another solid game for Manchester City. But let's face it, I mean, Ferran Torres is a very, very good football player. No doubting about that. Just a slight slip up. He'll be starting again, you would think, against West Ham at the weekend. We'll move on from there. So, yeah. Right, we're 3 likes away, okay? 3 likes. I want the 150 likes. So, any help to us, that would be much appreciated. We seem to be having an Olympiacos fan that's tuning in. Foden and Torres, I thought they both looked very lively when they came on for us. I thought they both looked fantastic, in my opinion. I'd be very tempted to probably start both of them against West Ham, if I'm honest. I'd probably look to try and have some changes there. City picking up injuries left, right and centre. Ake, Laporte, De Bruyne, Fernandinho, just some of the players that are out injured. So, yeah. We're not going to be the only team that faces injuries. I just think City needs to be careful of when they bring players on and resting players and rotating players, in my opinion. Just showing a replay of that Diaz goal, the first goal for FC Porto. Ruben Dias was going for a pass that was never really on. Good interception, good pass. It's a beautiful run and it was a beautiful finish from Diaz, though. You could tell he wanted to go onto his right foot. I'm surprised he didn't have a shot earlier in the attack, if I'm honest. Takes an extra touch, takes it away from Cancelo. It's a brilliant run. It's a good finish, really good finish. It's a good goal. I appreciate that goal. I can nitpick at City's defending. It's a really good goal, though. Really good goal. Right, we're 2 likes away. Can I please have the 2 likes so I can pack this up and go to bed? I'm tired. Please, if you're watching this, please leave a thumbs up. I chugged it and there was still a little bit left in the bottom, so I'm not very good at chugging. I can still hear. That'll do. There we go. 150 likes. Nice. Thank you everyone for watching. Like, comment, share, subscribe. I'll see you all again for that live stream Saturday, 12:30 kickoff, so I'll be live at 12:15 for that game. I'll see you all then. I've been JSGC. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your evening. Yeah, I'll see you all again soon. Peace. Ciao for now.